Smoking cheese at home is easier than you think. And in this video, we'll answer all the questions you have about the process. So come into our backyard and let me show you how to smoke cheese. If you have a smoker, by all means use it. But if you don't, you can use this equipment to turn an everyday barbecue into a smoker. For more information, click the links in the description box below. They're affiliate links, which means I may make a small commission if you choose to purchase. This is Vince, my favorite person on the planet. You get to choose the types of pellets you can use. Popular choices for cheese smoking include alder or cherry, pecan, or even apple. And these woods will produce a milder and sweeter flavor, more delicate. But for a richer, smoky, more pungent flavor, you could try woods like hickory or maple. Cold smoking cheese requires a cooler day because the fat in cheese begins to melt at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So choose a spring or a fall day where the temperatures are nice and cool for your cold smoke to be successful.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Once the pellets are burning and the smoke is developing nicely, you can lay the smoker tube inside the barbecue. Since this is a cold smoke process, the barbecue should never be on. Smoke your favorite cheeses. There are no limits here. You can smoke commercially branded cheeses or homemade cheeses, like the two round cheeses you see on top. The darker one on the left is a Colby, and to the right, a Gouda. The length of time in the smoker is determined by the size of the cheese. As a general rule, 1 pound of cheese should smoke for 1 hour. But don't let that worry you. If you want a lighter smoker flavor, you don't have to keep it in as long. And if you want a more heavily smoked cheese, leave it in a little longer. The choice is up to you. The larger pieces of cheese you see are 3 pounds, so I'll be smoking these for 3 hours. Among home cheesemakers, there is a debate as to whether or not you should smoke the cheese before or after the aging process. So I did one of each. The Colby hasn't been aged yet, but the Gouda has already been aged for 3 months. So I plan to do a comparison later on in the video. Flip the cheeses every 30 minutes to help ensure that they're smoked evenly. The homemade cheeses are about 2.5 pounds each, but I decided to pull them off at the 2-hour mark. They're already golden brown. A couple of things may be contributing to that. The amount of smoke in the smoker, the higher amount of butter fat in these cheeses, as well as the type of pellets I chose. Ta-da! I present to you 2 beautiful homemade and home-smoked cheeses. The rest of them will stay on an hour longer. All right, let's store these cheeses. Let's take care of the commercial cheeses first. Ideally, smoked cheese should be tightly wrapped and stored at 35 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I like to keep it in the crisper drawer or on the bottom shelf because the temperature is more consistent there. If you have a vacuum sealer, you could cut the cheese in smaller pieces, seal them, and store them in the refrigerator. Now, I know you're going to want to enjoy the smoked cheese right away, but it's best to let the cheese rest for a while in the refrigerator. Some say you could enjoy it as little as 3 or 4 days after smoking, but I like to let it rest for up to 4 weeks so that the smoked flavor can develop and infuse through the cheese more evenly. This is the Gouda that's been aged for 3 months. I'm going to store it in the refrigerator, and it will still age a little bit, but not appreciably. And you can choose to vac seal it like I did, or you can tightly seal it just like the commercial cheeses that you saw earlier. This is the Colby. Since it hasn't aged yet, I dried it on the drying rack for 2 days, and then I vacuum sealed it. And I put it in the regular cheese cave at 54 degrees to age for 3 months. We'll see you in 3 months for the taste test. It's time to do a taste test. I'm so excited. I've waited almost 3 months since the time we did the smoking to have this opportunity. And as I was setting up this taste test, YumYum came around the corner, and obviously because the kitchen smells like cheese, and so I decided to set up a taste test of her very own. We'll see if she comes up later and decides to do that. So you may be wondering, first of all, why is there only half of the Gouda when I have the whole Colby here? And I'll tell you what happened. Last night, the smoked Gouda pizza happened.
Hey, can I use this?
And it was only about 11 weeks into the Colby aging period. I was hoping to go 3 months so that I would have a 3-month before smoking and a 3-month after smoking, but I made it 11 weeks, close enough. So here we have it. My plan is to taste them side by side. And I recognize that you sciencey folks out there are probably thinking, hey, this isn't a true test because we have a couple of variables going on, not just the change in smoking times, but also a change in varietals. I know, I went to college, I get it. What I'm really just looking for is I want to know if the smoke is more pronounced in the cheese that was aged first or in the cheese that was aged after the smoking. It's an interesting thing. I did a lot of reading on it, and I consulted other cheesemakers through various social media platforms, and there really is no consensus. Some of the big names in cheese making think that you should smoke it first, and others think that you should smoke it after. So I think this will be fun to try. So let's get to it. Well, I think she's going to taste the cheese. I'm not really sure. She's thinking about it. So while she's thinking about it, I'm going to do my own taste test. I can't wait anymore. I'm going to try the Colby first. Some say smoking the cheese first could interfere with the aging process. Oh man, this is delicious. You have your own taste test. It's right over here. Come on. Oh. All right, let me describe what I'm tasting. The smoke flavor is smooth, and it's all throughout the cheese, and the cheese itself is creamy, and the smoke flavor is not overstated. It's beautiful. Perfect, I might say. Now I'm going to try the other one. Oh wow. There's a big difference. In this cheese, the smoke is far more pronounced. I would say it's smoke forward. I taste the smoke more than I taste the cheese right off the bat. But then as things mellow on the palate, then the taste of the cheese comes through. So, do I prefer the cheese that was smoked after the aging process, or do I prefer the cheese that was smoked before the aging process? And I have an answer, hands down. This one. So, Bill, you know who you are? You were right. From now on, I'm going to smoke my cheeses before I age them because I just think it's going to produce a better result. I like them both for different reasons, but if I could only choose one, this one, hands down. I'm not sure she's going to choose a cheese today, but I know she appreciates it. I think YumYum just decided. She likes the smoked Gouda. All right, so she and I disagree because I like this one more. Give it a try yourself to see which method you prefer. Thanks so much. We appreciate your support. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode. Hey, that's not your station. Seriously. I'm pretty sure that's her giving me the bird.